Chapter 6, Banking in QuickBooks. Banking is a fundamental part of QuickBooks and any small business. The banking page is where you connect your accounts and download transactions. This is sometimes known as the bank feed. In the education environment, the bank feed is not commonly used because it requires an actual connection of a real bank or credit card account to QuickBooks. For this reason, we will demonstrate just the highlights of the online banking features in this video. In addition to the bank feed feature, this chapter introduces you to two important banking tasks: the bank transfer and account reconciliations. The reconciliation feature is the most important feature needed for your students in this chapter. In this chapter, you'll learn how to connect your bank accounts, categorize transactions in the bank feed, reconcile accounts, and transfer funds. You can connect your bank account or credit card to QuickBooks to automatically download transactions. You can connect checking, savings, or credit card accounts, including foreign currency accounts if you use a participating bank. To connect your bank for the first time, click the banking link in the navigation bar. Click Add Account. Choose from one of the common banks or credit card companies listed in this window, or use the search bar to search for your financial institution. After reaching your bank or credit card page, follow the instructions. For more information on this process, please visit pages 3 to 6 in Chapter 6. After connecting to the bank or credit card account, QuickBooks downloads the last 90 days of transactions. Let's review the banking page in more detail. The different accounts appear as cards along the top of the page. Select the card of the account you want to work with. Its transactions display in the lower half of the window, labeled Review Items from your bank. You can tell which account you're working with because its card is a darker blue than the other cards. There are 3 tabs of information in the banking window. First is For Review. Transactions are broken out by account, waiting to be added to your books. You can filter the list to show only recognized transactions or view all transactions waiting to be added or matched. Recognized transactions are those that QuickBooks could pre-process for you because it found logical categories, remembered earlier categorizations made to similar transactions, found matches, or applied rules. You can add or match recognized items more quickly and with a high degree of confidence. In QuickBooks and excluded transactions. When you accept bank transactions, they move from the For Review tab to the In QuickBooks tab, so you always have a record of the items you've accepted. You can also exclude bank items if they shouldn't be part of your accounting. Categorizing transactions in QuickBooks. Now that you're familiar with the Banking Center and what the terminology means, it's time to get to work categorizing your downloaded transactions. QuickBooks will do some of the categorization work for you. After downloading new transactions, QuickBooks goes through a logical process to categorize. Let's review what QuickBooks does and what the display looks like. Matched transactions. When QuickBooks downloads bank data, it tries to find a match with any QuickBooks transactions you've created manually. If it finds a likely match, it lists the transaction in the Recognize tab and displays the word Match in green or the message One or more similar records are found. If you're satisfied with the match information shown in the row, simply click Match at the end of the row to move the bank item into QuickBooks and match it with the existing QuickBooks transaction. When there are 2 or more possible matches, QuickBooks may display a match icon in gray or may include the label 2 or more similar records found. User-created rule. QuickBooks will look for any rules that you set up in QuickBooks to automate the bookkeeping. We'll review how to set up rules shortly. Same name used in the past. As you begin categorizing transactions, QuickBooks learns how you categorize. Based on what it's learned from your past transactions, it will make suggestions about how to categorize each transaction. These suggestions are based in green text in the banking window. On occasion, you may see a suggested account category labeled in gray. This may happen if QuickBooks is intelligent enough to make a category suggestion based on common accounts for common suppliers. If QuickBooks does not know how to categorize the transaction, it will tag them as uncategorized expense or income. You'll have to choose the accounts for each transaction that is uncategorized. You'll see these labels a lot when you first get started in QuickBooks Online Banking. Now let's take a look at a sample account to see these items in action. Click Banking to review the new transactions that you've downloaded. First, you see the matched transactions. These transactions mean that QuickBooks has found matched transactions within the account. Click Match to enter and approve the transactions. Now you'll notice several transactions where a rule has been applied. You can click on Add on these transactions as QuickBooks is taking care of the category and other information by applying the rule. Alternatively, you can select all of the transactions and then click the button labeled Batch Actions and then choose Accept Selected. This is helpful when you have a larger bank feed to work with. Finally, there is one transaction remaining. It is labeled in green as you've categorized this transaction in the past. You can click Add. However, in this example, let's click it to see what the options available are. If necessary, you can change the category and sales tax. You can also add the payee if required. The payee is often not added when there is no need to track the expense back to the payee. After processing all the transactions, you're ready to close. You can repeat this process for each new batch of transactions that are downloaded from your online banking. This completes a simple overview of QuickBooks Online Banking. It's unlikely you will incorporate the bank feeds into your class, but this provides the basics of the online banking function for your students. Account reconciliation. Reconciling is an important monthly process for all small businesses. When you reconcile an account, you make sure that what you have in QuickBooks matches your monthly statement. This means that you'll match your cleared balance in QuickBooks with your ending balance from your company's bank statement. The reconciliation also means that you'll select all the transactions in QuickBooks that display on your account statement. This requires a detailed review of the statement and a selection process in QuickBooks. To get started with your reconciliation, click the gear icon and then click Reconcile. First, choose the account that you're going to reconcile. Then, using your monthly statement, enter the ending balance. Next, enter the ending date. This will also come from the statement. This date is important as it's used to limit the number of transactions on the Reconcile window to the transactions before this date. Finally, click Start Reconciling. The Reconcile window includes several important features. The top of the window acts as a reconciliation dashboard. It includes the statement ending balance and the cleared balance. As you start selecting transactions in this window, QuickBooks changes the cleared balance. The goal of the reconcile is to match the statement ending balance to the cleared balance. As you proceed towards this goal, QuickBooks will calculate a difference and display it in the right side of the window. The goal is to get the difference to be 0. To reconcile transactions, you'll select the transactions in the lower half of the window. The preset view is a list of all transactions before the statement ending date. However, you can filter the transactions when you click Payments or click Deposits. QuickBooks displays the transactions you've chosen. Now, select the transactions until your ending balance matches your cleared balance and the difference is 0. A helpful tip when looking for transactions is to click the column heading on any column to sort. For example, if you're looking for an amount that you can't seem to locate, click the Deposit or Payment column heading to sort by the amount. This makes finding transactions easier. If you haven't entered a transaction on the Reconcile, you can click the Save for Later option in the top right of the window to leave and return, or you can open a second window in QuickBooks to enter the transaction and then reconcile it. After you've reached a difference of $0, click Finish Now to complete the reconciliation. Click View Report to view the reconciliation report that includes a summary of the reconciliation and a list of cleared and uncleared transactions. That completes the reconciliation in QuickBooks. Bank transfers. You can transfer funds between most balance sheet accounts in your chart of accounts. Common examples include transfers from checking to your savings account, checking to the petty cash, or from a bank account to a credit card account. To create a transfer in QuickBooks, click the Create menu and then click Transfer. Enter the transfer funds from account. This will be the payment account. Next, choose the transfer funds to account. Enter the transfer amount. And that's all that's required. You can click Save to complete the transaction.